Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Morgan Danielle, and today for you guys I have another quick little story time coming about. This one's going to be more LGBTQ themed. This is going to be my coming out story. I'm going to describe what it was like for me coming out as trans to majority of my family. I'm not necessarily out to every single person in my family, but I'm openly trans, so I feel like there's really not a need for it anymore. But if you like videos like these, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos, and without further ado, let's just get into it. Hit that subscribe button and let's click and tune in. So the first time that I actually came out to my parents was actually quite young. I was about like 7 years old, and that was when I first asked my parents, like, I think I'm a girl, and I think that that's where I want to be. Like, I think that's what I want to be when I grow up. And my parents at the time kind of didn't take me seriously because obviously, you know, like your 7-year-old kid comes up to you, you don't know necessarily what the next step is when your child tells you that. So that was kind of that. And then fast forward to high school. So high school, by that point I had already secretly been in my first like relationship that was LGBTQ. So by that point I was like, okay, you know, I already kind of know, like it's already been confirmed for me. Like I'd already been in a heterosexual relationship, I'd already been in a homosexual one by that point, and I already kind of had figured out that like I knew what I liked. So in high school, I basically sat my mom down one day and I was like, hey, do you remember this guy that you used to always see, who used to always come around? Well, he was coming around to link with me. So yeah, like, and this is my first love, the first guy I ever loved, like my first real love, I guess. That happened. And so I sat her down in my room and I'm like, yeah, like here's this guy that you've seen me hang out with a lot over a couple of years. Recently that stopped, and it was because me and him had an ongoing relationship, and recently things happened and we broke up, and long story short, like, I'm queer. So my mom's response was positive. It was happy. She was just like, I was waiting on you, girl, because I was clocking your tea a long time ago, and I was waiting on you to just tell me yourself. So that was pretty straightforward, right? So I went through high school or whatever, you know, being openly queer, and then I got to senior year of high school, and that's when I really decided that being trans was something that was a core part of my identity, and I wanted to take that more seriously and make steps to make myself happy. So that's right when that happened. So it's about 2015, and I basically come to my mom and I'm like, hey, so we need to go for a walk, because me and my mom have always been the type to take walks and talk all the time. So at this particular point, she had some errands to run to get some things from the store anyway. So she was like, yeah, just walk with me and talk with me, tell me what's up. So we're walking, we're going on our jolly little way, and I'm like, hey mom, you know, there's something I want to tell you. And she's like, what? Tell me whatever you want to tell me. And I'm like, yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about, you know, who I am and what I want to do with my life and who I want to be, and honestly speaking, I think that I know who that person is. And she's like, well, what does that person look like to you? And I'm like, I think that person's a woman. And I think that when I envision my future as a woman. And I think I really genuinely do want to be a woman. And I think that I am transgender. And luckily by that point, my mom had kind of educated herself enough at this point to really understand. So she was like, okay, I understand what transgender means. I understand what you're going through, and I'm open to it. And the first thing she asked me was, well, what would you like to go by? And that's when I told her I had already been thinking of Morgan. So I was like, I want to go by Morgan. And that was kind of that on that. And so my mom was open and accepting. It took her a while to get used to me, especially with the pronouns and stuff, because all that kind of switched and changed all within the course of like a conversation outside. But other than that, she's always been fully supportive of me. The next person that I had to come out to was my dad, and I had my mom do it for me because I was too scary. Like, my dad and I have he's always been someone that I've looked up to, and he's always been someone that I draw a lot of inspiration from, and he's always been someone that I looked up to. So for him, like, him being disappointed was the one thing I was the most concerned about, because my dad is a Southern black man, so like he kind of grew up being raised in the church and like, you know, certain things not being okay. And so for me, it was like I was nervous that that perception would definitely be his perception of me. And originally, when my mom told my dad, he always made it very clear that he would love me But it took him a while to really genuinely accept me as a trans woman and accept that I'm a woman and that like that is it and that is the end all be all. But I think it also came from me just not giving a fuck and having that in my mind that like I'm gonna do what makes me happy, and that's really what helped me. And so that's pretty much all for my coming out story. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're probably wondering if my siblings accepted me, and they did. And you're probably wondering if extended family did, and it's very mixed. I feel like with my extended family, it's different. Like, it's very different. They didn't grow up living with me, so they don't necessarily have that lived experience that my parents and my siblings have. So, like, my siblings and my parents, it wasn't that big of a shock. But for people in my family who just only saw me every now and then, it was a shock. But I mean, I'm happy now. I think that that's all that really matters, is that I'm happy with myself, because at the end of the day, sis, family or not, like, I have to go in the coffin alone. So that was my coming out story. I hope you guys enjoyed my coming out story. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends. And yeah, just let me know any more videos you would like to have coming your way. This was a quick story time. I'm probably gonna have it coming with another video, so keep your eyes peeled. And if you haven't checked out my last video, which was a video where I did a story time about a guy who I was messing with who ended up getting hired at the same job as me. If you want to check that video out, you can check it out here or here, wherever it ends up being. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye. Stay cute.